you by the Oh Hi Oh Guys Productions, powered by RealNerdCorp.com, live on Twitch.tv/Comic and GameCorp. If you didn't already know, I'm your host for the evening. Boy, do my sides hurt. This has been, this podcast is going to be fucking crazy, and I'm bringing it to you. I'm the Crown Vic of podcasting. My name is Alex Swisher. Joining me, as always, my trusty co-host. Sometimes I like to refer to him by my little pet name for him, Felicia Fancy Bottom, but you know him best is Chad Porto.
So we've been, if you're listening to the download, you know what's happening. you know what's been going on.
If you were listening to the download, or if you were listening to it through the player on the site, when you go and listen through the website, you know that this is what we're at, like 2 hours now.
Two and change. 2 and 8 minutes and 20 odd seconds.
You know that this has been a fucking nightmare just to get to this point. It has been a comedy of
complexities.
Hilarious. Of complexities, yes. For those of you listening live, you'll just have to listen to the show when it goes up on the website or wherever you listen to us, iTunes, Podbean, Stitcher, whatever it is, wherever you get your podcasting.
For the
Chad
Twitch and YouTube broadcasts, however, this is all you're getting. If you want the rest, you got to download it. In fact, you actually gave me a new idea for how we're going to start doing our shows going forward. Not this show, but like with the WrestleCorp and stuff, we might have some underground segments that you have to download to get to.
Yeah. Look, it's nice for people who want to come and listen live or want the convenience of the YouTube snippets or whatever. Let me tell you this right now. The best time that you will have with me and Chad on an Ohio Guys production will be if you download this podcast and listen to it. The last 2 hours have been hilarious. And you will be in on the ground floor of an upcoming production from myself and Chad. A unnamed working podcast about Hallmark original movies.
Oh, Hal, oh, Mark cast.
Oh, how? Oh, Hall, oh, Mark cast?
Oh, Hall, oh, Mark cast. Or we go with Hall High Mark Guys. High Hall Guy Marks. So we'll give you a little taste.
To put it in wrestling terms, what if we just call it the Hall Marks in all capitals, Marks?
Oh my God, that's actually really good.
The Hall Marks podcast.
Oh, that's so good. And unlike when we announced the idea going forward 7 months ago with us reviewing weekly new Hallmark movies, this is actually going to happen, and it's going to replace our weekly ComicCorp, I think. 'Cause it's pretty much saying that you and I are going to be doing 2 shows. But the Hallmark show, I want to keep tight. 20 minutes exported to YouTube.
Absolutely. Agreed. So yes, for anybody listening to this, either downloading or listening live, you have just gotten in on the ground floor of the literal start. And for those of you who are listening on the video on demand or the podcast on demand, whatever service you're using, you literally got to hear all of the movies that are going to be coming up. By the way, there are 77 that we have as of now, and there are still more to come.
This is just the first batch. So here's the categories we have. We're not going to tell you whether the movies are going to be. You're just going to have to tune in. The first category is like outlandish plots,
Wacky plot lines.
There it is. The second one is Pornhub description.
Yes,
where the plot sounds like a movie that could be a Pornhub video.
Yep, absolutely.
Third is stars we like.
Stars we love, stars we like, stars we recognize.
Stars that make us go, I do her.
Yeah, absolutely.
4 is sequels and trilogies.
Yes.
So if it was a sequel or trilogy, it made the list.
Absolutely.
And we'll actually do those as one episode.
Yes, those ones maybe will go a tight 30 to 45.
Agreed. And then lastly, miscellaneous, anyone that we thought may be interesting that we decided to put on the list.
Absolutely.
But
That
wasn't
just didn't
quirky
fall
or
in.
crazy.
Yes. So yes, and technically we're starting here because we're doing a tight 30
Yep.
on Love at the Shore, which is supposed to round out our Schmear on the Shore series of movies. We did 4 summer-related movies. We started this off with doing Blue Crush, which was just a bummer. Followed up by Stick It, which Stick It was a lot of fun for both of us.
Yep. For so many reasons.
For so many reasons. Followed last week with Psycho Beach Party, which was just a movie.
Yeah, it had its things.
Yeah, to reiterate what we said last week about Psycho Beach Party, everybody should see it once.
Yeah. It might be your favorite movie, or it might be the movie that makes you question why you watch cinema.
Yes, absolutely. And this week we are doing Love at the Shore, which has now inspired our new favorite podcast, and hopefully what will be your new favorite podcast. Because I'm telling you right now, I'm marketing the shit out of this. If you follow me on any of my social medias, you are not going to hear the end of me promoting this podcast. Especially because the name of the podcast is just great. The Hallmarks.
Yep.
Come on.
I love it. It's so good.
Come on.
Swisher nailed it on that one.
Because, everything that we do here has to tie back to wrestling.
For some reason.
For some reason, yeah. Chad, we watched Love at the Shore, which fucking sucked.
I was going to say something about programming and scheduling, but I completely forgot now because I let you ramble.
We haven't yet set a day for when we're going to do this. What do you think is the best day that works for you for recording?
Well, actually, just kind of how things are shaking out. Even though we have a recording on Wednesday for the Making an Impact podcast, we can record after because we only go for about an hour, if that, at 9.
Okay.
And Mondays and Thursdays, I'm usually free, but Mondays is always free. But Thursdays is going to be free 3 weeks out of 4 because we're still recording our ComicCorp podcast. But we're changing the focus now to a concept like what we're doing for Ohio Guys, where we're doing lump reviews in one episode instead of doing like 30 different television shows and comic books and all that nonsense.
Yeah.
So I think next week or the week after we're doing Legion of Superheroes.
Okay.
But it's only going to be like 2 hours, if that. But so Thursdays, Mondays, sometimes Sundays.
So when you guys do your Wednesdays, do you start at 9 and end at 10, or do you end at 9?
We start at 9 usually and end at 10.
Okay.
Sometimes we start at 9:30. Sometimes we're done by 9:45. But the general gist is we go at 9.
Okay.
Or at 9-ish.
If you wanted to do, I can do Mondays. If you wanted to do Wednesdays, I can do Wednesdays too. Because like I said, it's a quick. We're gonna keep in this 20 to 30 minutes. Tight movie review. Easily digestible for a YouTube audience. So I can do that because if we go like at 10, Dynamite goes off the air. So I can finish watching wrestling, jump straight into the podcast, and good to go. Or we can go Monday or Thursday or whenever. We
can go after Dynamite. I don't mind.
Okay. So, yeah, I think that will be what we can do. I think we will be recording. Now, we're not going to be doing these live. Or are we doing them live?
We're doing them live-ish because the plan is we're going to create a new YouTube channel and a new Twitch channel.
Okay.
We have the XFL one we can
I was going to say I can repurpose that.
So we can repurpose a Twitch channel, call it the Hallmarks, and make it just our Hallmark movie reviews. Set up a YouTube page only for Hallmark movie reviews, and do them live and export them. But we can also then do like what we did with tonight, where we have unstreamed content that could be part of a download, or we can keep it strictly on the YouTube. So there are some other aspects. Like with the downloads, I want them to be bigger downloads, 2-3 hours of really unique content not just, reviews of things that we've been doing. Like talking about news for wrestling, for instance. I don't want to just keep doing those as downloads instead of just exporting them over to YouTube. But because the idea I have with Marcus, and I'm going to pitch to him this weekend, is doing a full deep dive review of the Global Force Wrestling TV tapings, and then the Impact stuff, and then look at the roster and make it like a full on 2-3 hour thing. And that's kind of where I want to go with the downloads, and then everything else would just be streamed to YouTube exclusively. So that's, I think, how I want to do the Hallmark stuff, but we can also have an extended portion depending on what kind of nonsense we add to it. So, but the idea is it's going to be its own dedicated function, just like everything else, with its own YouTube channel, its own Twitch stuff. So, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. We can... Here's what we will tell the audience. We will let you know what's going on. Once we get all of this figured out off air, we will bring this back to you with the first edition of the Hallmarks, and we will explain the whole format of how we're doing everything on the first episode. So the first episode might go a little long, and then we'll do our review, and then that will set the precedent for how we are going to continue doing this podcast. Sound good?
I like the idea of doing it straight to YouTube and having it up there. So
Absolutely.
So I'll figure out a way to make this work, and we'll go on from there. But the Ohio guys will still be a download, because I like the idea of us having all of it in one post on the website, realnerdcorp.com. And then you can go and download all the episodes and keep along with us. By the by, rewatching the OC, such a great show. So let's get to the yoga lattes of Hallmark movies. Yoga lattes. Love on the Shore. Love at the Shore. There's no love on this movie.
It was a movie.
It was a movie. So I don't remember who. I actually have the Hallmark thing open. Is there a cast listing? Here it is. It's only going to be the boyfriend and girlfriend. Yup, there it is. Amanda Rigetti played Jenna, and Peter Porte played Lucas. Peter Porte's in a bunch of the movies that we're going to be reviewing.
Yes.
So basically, Peter Porte is a downstairs neighbor at this multi-leveled beach house, and what's her name? Rachel? Jenna and her 2 kids, whose father we never even hear from or hear of, show up. They move in for the summer. She's a writer who's stuck on a fantasy novel about a little girl and some nonsense. And her downstairs neighbor is just so rude with his mildly loud music that she can only hear if she's outside. And his dog that sometimes barks at the kids when they come to pet it. The bastard. So they have some confrontations on their basement walk-up, I guess. What do you even call that? Because he's on the first floor, she's on the second. And she has to ascend 2 flights of stairs to get to her place for some reason. I don't know. This beach house is weirdly designed.
No idea.
Turns out the son and daughter are in some kind of beach camp thing for the summer that he runs. Convenient. He's afraid. The boy's afraid of swimming, and the girl is a wanderlust who just wants to find a dog and walk around with it. That's her entire. The daughter's entire plot is: can I pet your dog? Can I walk your dog? Would you have an issue if I swung on the swing next to your dog? That's all she cared about.
Her whole personality is just this fucking dog.
To be fair, most 7-year-olds, when they're around a dog, that's their entire personality. So it's the most accurate Hallmark movie I've ever seen to date.
Fair enough.
The boy can't swim. He's afraid of swimming. He eventually becomes fine in a pool. But him and the dude, Peter Porte, have a conversation about the one time he's like, when I was your age, I swam out to that island 34 miles away. I just wanted to do it one day. And the kid's like, that seems scary. And Peter Porte's like, yeah, this is definitely the Chekhov's gun of the movie.
Absolutely.
So eventually the mom and Peter Porte's character start to bond, and she finds out that he has an MBA from Caltech.
No, UC Berkeley.
Sorry. He has an MBA from I don't give a fuck. And she finds...
He has an MBA from Shoehorn College.
He has an MBA from Plot Device University.
Oh, dude, you went to PDU?
So one night he's having a party and she gets very annoyed. So she stomps down like the uptight mom that she is, only to find that it's not a party. It's a work event that he's having with all of his colleagues because he's trying to produce it's a video promoting a McMansion of water parks, essentially. They're going to open up these little like water parks all over the fucking United States and teach kids to swim in, and why slip and slides are both the most great thing ever created and the worst thing ever created. I don't know why. It's his dream to make 30,000 water parks in the United States of America. God, fuck Plot Device, man. I don't know. So she's like, oh, that's cool. I thought you were just some dumb hippie who taught kids how to swim like a jerk. And he's like, no, I actually have an MBA. And she goes, oh, I now find you to be a compatible mate because you're the smart. So we're really dealing with some geniuses on this one, folks. Super show. But to keep her grounded, she has a black best friend who we don't ever meet or get referenced to until she randomly shows up, and it's like, oh, this is my best friend.
Yeah, pretty much. The movie starts off with those two talking, and you're just like, I'm expected to know this relationship.
It's not
like
good.
It really, oh boy, it's not good at all.
Ham-fisted as shit. And the dog, not even that cute.
No, the dog's not that cute.
It looks like Wishbone got rabies.
Honestly, this movie feels like we missed a setup movie.
Yep. I mean, we may have.
Yeah,
we very well may have.
It honestly feels like we missed two setup movies. We missed a setup movie with the mom and her kids, and we missed a setup movie with the fucking surfer bro with the MBA.
So I'm guaranteeing you the mom and kids prequel was on Lifetime Network. She's not actually running to finish her novel. She's running from the law after she murdered her cheating husband.
Well, hopefully she murders this guy too.
No! Peter Partey's awesome.
Not in this movie.
There's not much that's awesome in this movie.
Dude, he's
ended.
got the emotional range of a baked potato.
He does or she does?
He does in this movie. He is stone-faced for most of this movie.
They both are. Like we've looked at this. We've proven this. They look alike.
Yeah. They do look alike.
We're pretty sure they're at least second cousins.
It's very frightening. Yeah, it's also like their facial features are exactly the same, but their head shapes are completely different.
It's weird. So they start to bond. He takes her to a crab shack that's literally just a little hut on a boardwalk and nothing else. Or it's like a lobster shack. And he's like, this is the best seafood in the state.
Yeah, he orders 2 whole crabs, 2 orders of his garlic shrimp, 2 rolls, and a stack of napkins. That's it.
That's a healthy meal.
If you look at the chalkboard behind the little shack that this guy's serving his food out of, all it says on the menu is shrimp and crab.
So he ordered the only 2 things they serve.
Yeah, legit. Not even kidding. It doesn't say garlic shrimp or like whole crab. It just says shrimp, crab. That's it.
Wait, doesn't he order rolls too?
Yeah, he orders rolls.
Where do they get the rolls from if he only serves shrimp and crab?
No fucking clue.
That's funny. That's funny as hell. So she starts to think that he might have feelings for his coworker, but it turns out his coworker does not like attractive men. They have great chemistry. They laugh all the time. They have inside jokes. But she's like, ew, that's like my brother. Oh, please. We've seen your Pornhub history search. That doesn't bother her. But but for whatever reason, like Hallmark always wants to do the faux 3-way romance and not the fun kind. It's like, oh, you're in love with her. No, she's like my sister. Oh, that changes everything. It doesn't. eventually they decide to leave, but he's like, no, I love you. I've had 4 conversations with you, and your son almost died swimming to the island that I talked about and back. So that was something, right? Like, bonding? If I remember correctly, how did the movie end? She leaves and he stays. Or she's about to leave. Or he's about to leave. He's about to leave.
So he's about to leave because he closes the deals on, like, right before the end of the movie, he closes the deals on his chain of water parks.
It's just him setting up a slip and slide in some woman's backyard in 38 different houses across the United States. It's not a great idea.
Yeah, pretty much. So she realizes that she does care about him and wants to try and make things work. This is the very end of the movie. We're skipping a lot.
Are we?
No, I take that back. We're not skipping.
We hit all the plot points.
Did we hit the plot point where she calls the renter?
Okay.
She calls the renter to try and switch houses, and she has to leave a voicemail.
Okay. So let's before we get to the ending, she's so annoyed at Peter Porte's character that she calls the man she's renting the beach house from to complain, only to find out that the man she's renting the house from is in fact Peter Porte, because not only is he a camp counselor, business mogul, and water park enthusiast, but he's also a homeowner and a proprietor of B&Bs or Airbnbs, I should say. He's a real estate mogul. And who surfs and loves dogs and kids, but not in a creepy way. The only thing he can't do is a third emotion.
Yes. So yes, end of the movie. She's running back. She was about to leave with her kids, but he signs this fucking deal, and it would like require him to go scouting locations to put these little summer camp water park things up. She realizes that she loves him or cares about him deeply enough to try giving it a shot.
Or at the very least wants a cheap deal on the summer house next summer.
Yes. So she runs, but she just barely misses the black SUV that's totally not his Jeep that has no hard top or soft top, or, that has a surfboard in it. And she's like, I don't even remember Peter Porte's character's name.
We'll say it's Jack or Randall. Hal, maybe. We'll call him Coffee Cup.
Damn, what is his character's name?
I think it's Jack.
I don't think it's Jenna and Jack.
You don't know that. It's Lucas.
Oh, that's right. It's Lucas. She's running after this black SUV, and she's, Lucas. Oh, I just missed him. And the running gag of "Can you keep it down?" returns as Lucas is on his upstairs porch. It's not a balcony. It's definitely a porch. And he's like, will you keep it down there? Some of us are trying to sleep and blah, blah. And she's like, oh, it's 5 PM. He's like, so? And then they are like, I missed you. Let's give this a shot. Da, da, da.
Credits. A 3-story tall porch in the middle of hurricane nonsense. That's a solid building plan. Like, good idea on that one, guys. That won't totally get ripped off with the first hurricane of the season. I digress. So that's the movie. It's as dumb as you think. It's one of my favorites, though.
It has its moments. The worst part, literally the worst parts about this movie are the kids.
Yep.
Like, not
and the
even
mom.
kidding.
And the best friends. And the colleague that he works with. And whenever he's not hanging out with the dog. So basically just the dog's the good part.
If they had just done a surfing movie about him and his dog, I think that would have been better.
Wishbone. What's the story, Wishbone? Wishbone on the surfing competition. Wishbone on the Hallmark Movies and Mysteries competition. Wishbone on the Hollywood Boulevard Murders. Wishbone got...
Are we done here?
He got really progressive and wanted to break out of those PBS roles later in life.
I prefer Clifford.
He and Clifford never got along. Something about Clifford's big ego.
Big dog, bigger ego.
So join us next week as we start our community watch.
Yes. We will be doing a community watch through for our back to school series, yet to be named series of shows.
Communicast.
Communicast.
Podidity.
Communicast works.
I feel like that came to us too easy. I'm going to keep thinking.
We will.
6 seasons on a podcast. That probably exists already.
You done?
A bed sing-along blog.
Potentially. So yes, we will be back next week as we start our community podcast. After that, we have no idea where we're going from there. I'm sure we'll have something. But the biggest news coming out of this week is keep your eyes peeled for the start of the Hallmarks podcast. Such a great. The Hallmarks podcast with Chad and Swish.
I already have an idea for the logo.
Perfect. I already converted the Twitch channel.
I'll send you. I'm gonna have this stuff done in the next hour. It's gonna be in. It's sent to your Discord. Keep an eye out for it.
Our profile picture is just gonna be a picture of Chad Michael Murray.
So our URLs and stuff, realnerdcorp.com, REALNERDCORP.com. We're also on Twitter at NERDCORP, on Instagram at realnerdcorp, REALNERDCORP. Swisher, personals, go.
You can find my personals. I'm on Twitter at X2000Gregs, X2000GREGS. I'm on Instagram, 2000Gregs, 2000GREGS. Chad, where can they find your personal stuff?
The personals can be found over on Twitter at Chad NerdCorp, ChadNerdCorp, and on Instagram at Chad's Photo Hut. You can be sure to find us always on the other podcasts, at the other downloadable stuff.
Thank you all for listening. We're out of time. We gotta go. Chad, get us out of here. Thank you all for listening. We'll be back next week. We gotta go.